Honestly, I think I've been doing this, but yep, we're back with a list again. You remember a long time ago, back when I made my Dave and Bambi Golden Apple video? Not the recent one, I mean the old one. You remember that in my old Dave and Bambi Golden Apple video, I said I would cover all the songs that were scrapped, but I never did. Well, now we're here, and now updated with 1.5, considering that more songs have been scrapped during that time. Yeah, this is a massive list, so let's just, start with 1.2. During 1.2, these were the songs that were scrapped. Buttered is based off of an old Moldy GH video, where Moldy GH is, spreading butter on a paper picture of Bambi. Actually, two Bambis, I don't know why. But yeah, Leech features a character called Original Tricks, or whatever that is, I don't know. Basically, Origin Bandu in Tricks form. And Leech also has Among Us reference because, of course, it does. Seavol is made for FNF mod creator Seavol, who also worked on B-Sides and a couple of other mods, as well as his own YouTube channel, which is how Seavol, ya brown. Apples is entirely Bandu, so that's there. G's would have featured Gary along with a character named Jeff. And Gary has sort of become a meme with Golden Apple, with Gary being used in Straight in Crisis for a joke song. And there's even a G's version too. That's essentially just a joke version. It's even titled G's version 2 joke. Where Gary says the other horrible F word. Yep. Ripple would have been based on Bambi's original angry form from Marcello's Funhouse, which yeah. Decimal would have featured a character called Ohungi. However, Decimal, while being scrapped for Golden Apple, will be used in Dave and Bambi Dimensional Deep End and has been transferred to another creator due to Ohungi's original owner basically having little creativity to do with the character. With Decimal in its old form and a supposed new revised form being completely scrapped. The reason I didn't put Decimal version 2 is because they both were incredibly scrapped and both were made during the 1.2 era, so we could throw that off. Schooled would have featured OG Dave having some more time in the spotlight. Ages 7 to 10 and USB would have been Play Robot solo songs. And Ages 7 to 10 is essentially just an extension of Play Robot's part from Algebra, while USB is the extension of Play Robot's malfunctioning stage from Algebra. Hiccup would have featured Bandu, getting the hiccups. Cotton Candy would have a Bad Eye solo song, but that is completely scrapped. Chippy was created by Moldy GH and would feature a sort of chip-tuned, bit-crushed version of Bandu, but Chippy was ultimately scrapped. However, people have made high-effort versions. Corn Dog was the original Dave X Bambi shipping queued, because that was a thing that happened. There's a minus on the list. I put Corrupted File version 1 to 2. Corrupted File was essentially an alternate take on Recovered Project, though how much of that went forward was basically never even remembered. Cheating Not Cute, another song that Cinda and Adista have made together. Deformation, made by Adista and Cinda, the two work together. Well, this is another song they worked together, but this one ultimately went scrap. Essentially, Cheating Not Cute is essentially Dave X Bambi shipping cute, but a dark turn twist. Okay. Yeah, the 1.2 songs were small. The during 1.2 section is pretty small, only containing 16 songs that were scrapped, which is a small amount, meager to whatever 1.5 was. You might also notice Corrupted File is there. That's because Corrupted File had 3 versions. One made for version One made, two of them made for 1.2, and Corrupted File also got scrapped during 1.5. Meaning Corrupted File tried to get in the mod twice, and both times were scrapped. So yeah, first off is Underscore, made by Ruby, and I don't know what Underscore is based off of. Excess, also I don't know what it is. Generic. Now I know some people say this is not a scrap song. This is more technically a joke song. But this is a joke song that was technically scrapped. Generic would have featured like a generic Bambi OC. That's probably the whole reason it was even called generic in the first place. But luckily, my boy, the Bambi OC in generic does appear in the song Apple Leak in the 1.5 build, so at least he got some representation somewhere. Creation would have featured like 3D MS Paint version of Bandu. At least a Bandu that's a little bit different. Corrupted Fowl would have Corrupted Fowl was attempted to be brought into 1.5, but that ultimately got removed. Crunker was the original planned song instead of until getting replaced by Peanut Vendor. Sploinkers was probably a joke song that ultimately got scrapped. Free exclusive, I don't know what free exclusive would have been, but maybe Golden Apple would have had separate versions, maybe on Game Banana or Steam or itch.io. Maybe Steam or Game Banana, and having either the Game Banana or Steam version, you would get a song exclusive to one of those versions. Probably the reason why it's called free exclusive. That's just my theory. I don't know. If someone can help me learn what free exclusive was supposed to be about, then I would be thankful for you. Retro was the third song Moldy GH made for Golden Apple. And just like Chippy, Retro was removed. But for an entirely different reason. You Cheated was a song that was attempted to... You Cheated is a reference to an image titled You Cheated, found in Dave and Bambi 2.5. It features Joke Bambi said in a dark hallway with the text, "You cheated. You don't feel good, and you won't feel any better when he shows up." He refers to Expunge, and it also refers to the jump scare that shows up after you get the image. And this is obtained by pressing the 7 key in 2.5 Unfairness. This is ultimately scrapped in Dave and Bambi 3.0, as pressing 7 in Unfairness now takes you to Exploitation, and Expunge taking over your computer, rather than taking you to the image that used to exist back then. Servant would have been a song featuring Bamberg from Bambi's Purgatory. However, this was ultimately scrapped, probably because the people behind Bambi's Purgatory and Definitive Edition probably want to, not be involved with Dave and Bambi anymore. This is my only guess as to why, because Bambi's Purgatory and Definitive Edition have been dead for months. The Dream is a song that would have featured Dave, but I don't know anything else. I also put Creation twice. I'm stupid. Ringtone was a song that would feature Bandu, but wherever that went, I don't know. Yule is another song that would feature Bandu, but is basically unknown. And then 3 more songs I found that were more recent. Hacksploit would have essentially been a joke song featuring a joke version of Expunge. More specifically, the design's based on True Expunge, but wherever that went, I have no idea. And Mathematics, said to be the replacement for the song Nice, as apparently the person behind Bambi, Marcelo, got into some controversy, and supposedly Nice is getting removed from 1.5 and is instead being replaced with Mathematics, which is based on Dave's Fun Algebra Class 2, the sequel. Bad Corn is a song that would feature a joke version of Bambi. Bad Corn is the one that's been getting the most attention due to the fact there's been high effort versions of it. You might also notice that, look at all these songs. Yeah, these are all the songs I put because these are technically scrapped from during 1.5's development. I know I put them in the previous list, for the Golden Apple 1.5 build, leaked build video, but I'm going to go through them again. And it will be short. the UGG cover, Cycles cover, FL Keys, the Boopadoop song, Sick Tricks, Left Unchecked, which is also a cover, and Theft. These songs are all removed because of reasons, of course. But here's this last section, because during both 1.2 and 1.5, there are a number of songs that had scrapped, unused, or removed versions, and some covers and remixes that are also here. And let's start from the top. Wireframe had a version 2 that was ultimately scrapped. I'm pretty sure this version 2 is the one that was in the original Golden Apple like 1.0. Start Producer version 1 is the version of Start Producer that was with Golden Apple when it first released, but ultimately got replaced by the new Start Producer song that is now there. The Big Dingle version 1, or the old Big Dingle, is an infamous one because it was infamous. Curveball had a version 1 that you probably remember. In most of these versions, some of these like a quarter of these versions come from a video called All Dave and Bambi Golden Apple OST Scrap Songs. It's a YouTube video by a channel where it has like part of the scrap songs, like around half of the scrap songs, and then the other half is like completely missing. Like, well, actually, all the scrap songs of 1.2, as well as like half the scrap versions. Yeah. Algebra version 1 is the algebra that was with Golden Apple when it first released, replaced by Algebra version 2. Deformation version 1 was the one that was with 1.2 when it first released, that is replaced by Deformation in 1.5, which I'm calling version 2. Jambino version 1, or is it called Jambino Older, is the oldest surviving version of Jambino, the song that appears in 1.5's leak build in the story mode. The Jambino version 1 is what I think ultimately resulted in the final version of Jambino, as Jambino version 1 2, the entire version 1 has both the beginning and last part of the final version of Jambino, while Jambino version 2, titled Jambino Old, has nothing to do with it. Deformation had a version 2. Deformation version 2 is the one that was in the 1.2 build, so I am incredibly wrong. This list is confusing, and it's confusing for my head. Dale version 1 was scrapped pretty early on, I think. Metallic, which was Ringy's old song, would have had a version 2 that, in my opinion, fixed Metallic, but made it a bit worse. For this, it sacrificed the song's up-tuning beat by fixing Ringy's voice, by giving Ringy an original voice for Metallic version 2 of Alter and got scrapped. Fresh and Toasted version 1 is the first version of Fresh and Toasted, another song in the 1.5 build story mode. This ultimately got scrapped. Recovered Project version 1 or Beta 1 is the scrapped version of Recovered Project, ultimately replaced by the one that appears in the first version of Golden Apple, and so on and so forth. As far as to my knowledge, even 1.5, Recovered Project has not received a version 2. Has not received any versions beyond the one we know. And this one, Ripple version 1 or Ripple Old, is the old version of the scrapped song Ripple, meaning that there was a scrapped version of a scrapped song. Okay. Predecessor version 1 would have featured Tankman as your opponent, which is very cathartic because the actual predecessor in the 1.5 build is OG Dave, but it has the voice of Tankman. The predecessor originally had you fought against Tankman. Sick Tricks version 1 is what I think is the worst version of Sick Tricks. Sillier version 1 is just a more lesser version of Sillier. And now we get into the strange part. You see, there are 5 unused remixes of 5 songs. Deformation had an unused remix. Gift Card, The Big Dingle, Apprentice have an unused mix, And the scrap song Cotton Candy has an unused mix. And here, G's version 2, the joke version 2 of G's was a scrap joke version of G's. Galactic version 2 was one that was ultimately a version of Galactic that got scrapped. It starts with Galactic and then changes. It was made by Cinda, but ultimately got removed. The Scratches version 1 is the Scratches that appears in the Golden Apple 1.5 build, but I found out that there's a version 2 of the Scratches, and ultimately now I'm putting the Scratches here as a scrapped version. Predecessor has an unused mix. You Cheated had a version 1. Yes, once again, a scrapped song has a scrapped version. And here we get to the bottom for the OCs. Strawberry version 1 and 2 are the scrapped versions of Strawberry that appeared when Golden Apple released and the 1.1 build. Keyboard version 1 and 2 are the scrapped versions of Keyboard that appeared in 1.0 and in 1.2. There's supposed to be a cover of Bleeding from the mod versus Ron 2.5, but ultimately got scrapped, which is sad because a cover of Bleeding from versus Ron 2.5 wouldn't actually sound that bad since the song is spam, and it actually goes pretty damn hard. Like, no joke, it's good. And lastly, yeah, Unnamed Expunge Song and Unnamed Bambi Song. These are the only two songs that are scrapped that don't actually have official names, but ultimately I put them here. You might say that, these two songs are the outlier of the list because they don't fit in. They probably belong with these two. But the problem is that they're unnamed. So we don't know, we have no idea if these are scrap songs or if these are versions of existing songs. Unknown Bambi Song has more credibility than Unnamed Expunge Song, but Unnamed Expunge Song's instrumental sounds nearly identical to Ferocious, meaning that there was gonna be a planned Ferocious replacement with Expunged, but ultimately that didn't get anywhere because it has no basis behind it. And that's the list. Jesus. This mod has more scrapped songs than any mods of FNF I've seen. Like, who in their right mind decided to scrap some of these songs? Because some of these actually go pretty hard. Leech is actually a pretty good song. Cheating Not Cute is cool as hell. And I think some of these other scrap songs, should have had a second chance. Maybe they could have been even better. You Cheated is one I would have preferred. I would have liked to see be realized because this sounds like a pretty cool thing. And the reference is kind of cool. But for somebody, Ripple is a pretty good song. Chippy is just cool. Servant would have been awesome because we already have Nintendo DS Flip No Bambi from Straight Crisis in the 1.5 build for the song Seatbelt. So having another Bambi character from another Dave and Bambi mod would have not been that bad. I mean, we have Mine, which features Dinner Bambi from his own mod, and we have Flip No Bambi, so there. And yeah, that's the whole list. Thanks for watching. I know 2 videos in one day. You see the Plants vs. Zombies 2 video? Yeah, it's for today. Don't worry. Tomorrow we do cool stuff. We do swag. Guys, you know how I said I draw every FNF character? I've been lacking. Jesus. I've been lacking a lot. I haven't really done much drawing. I've been jamming to music for like the past half a year. I've been lacking on the drawing. I really need to get back. I remember when I used to draw a lot, I was grinding nonstop. One drawing, I did another, and it was basically back to back drawing. This gave back to back drawing with one hand. Probably one hand I draw. Probably the reason my fingers have such good reflexes in Funky Friday. because it all came from mastering how to handle Holden. Yeah. My. And yes, I have reorganized this room. I've fixed up some stuff, and I am very happy about that. Yeah.